Hello, I'm MB Domrise, or Dom for short, and welcome back to Dragonfly Clan. If you haven't seen my Year Zero video where I introduced the clan founders, don't sweat. It's not necessary to understand what's going on, but I would recommend watching it if you are curious as to why Dragonfly Clan was created. This video marks the start of me playing year by year through Dragonfly Clan, and I figure now is a good time to go over my rules for this clan. All cats will go on patrol every moon unless they are queens with kits in the nursery. Apprentices will always go with their mentors unless the mentor is unavailable for whatever reason. In that case, the apprentice will be sent with the cat who has the highest relationship bar with their mentor. I know that sounds a little confusing, but it makes sense to me. Medicine cats are allowed to take mates, even though the code specifically says not to. This is for potential drama, and I will not enforce this unless it makes sense story-wise. Relationship-wise, same-sex mates are allowed, and I have the settings on to have same-sex kits as well for some potential gay babies. I have romantic relationships with former mentors and first cousins turned off for obvious reasons. I have it set that leaders will automatically choose their deputy because I think it's fun to see what the game chooses. I also have turned on the setting that allows warriors and elders to choose to become mediators if they want. I currently have the maximum number of cats I allow in the clan to be 20 cats, or 1 full page. If we get over that, I turn on mass extinction events until we're back down to 1 page or less. This may change later, but this is my rule for now so I don't overwork myself. I also feel like it's easier to focus on the stories of a limited number of cats rather than having to keep up with 3 pages of cats, some of which might not do more than get thorn in their paw every once in a while. That should be it for rules. I will leave a comment if I forget anything, but before we go on, I have a bit of a confession to make. I started playing Dragonfly Clan about 1 to 2 years ago and have played up to year 12. I wasn't originally planning on making a series about Dragonfly Clan, but I started to like the story it was forming and decided it would be fun to share it with all of you. Because I started this so long ago, I didn't take the best notes at first, so for the first couple of years, I barely wrote anything down, and I'm a bit worried the content quality might not be very good. I've gotten better at taking notes, so the later years are much more detailed, but I want to hear you guys' opinion. Should I stick with Dragonfly Clan, or start a new clan with better note-taking and potentially a better story? I will leave it up to you, but without further ado, let's get into year 1 of Dragonfly Clan. 1 star's year started pretty good. She chased out a rogue with Bone Lion on Moon 3, and that rogue actually attacked Pale Paw in his assessment, so he had it coming. This was around where her relationship with Bone Lion started to deteriorate. She became uncomfortable with how Bone Lion would watch her from across camp and how he always seemed to stalk around weirdly. On a separate patrol with Bone Lion, she invited a new face to the clan, who I will get to later in the video. She was also caught arguing with a cat from Crouch Clan, one of Dragonfly Clan's neighbor. On Moon 8, she was able to save Crouch Suffix from a dog. I will keep Crouch Paw's new name secret until we get to her. At the end of the year, 1 star was stuck grieving the first death in the clan, who we will get to in a moment. Other than that, that's about it for 1. I unfortunately didn't write much for Tumblestripe. Thank you, Passed On, for taking horrible notes. On Moon 5, she was attacked by a fox, and I didn't write if she got hurt, so I assumed she fought off without injury. Towards the end of the year, Tumblestripe had to step up in 1 star's place while the leader was grieving. She's worried about 1 star, and the death is affecting Tumblestripe just as much as the leader. Turns out I also took poor notes for Grey Mask as well, so all I have written down for him is that he got attacked when he tried to gather herbs on another clan's territory. I didn't even write down which clan it was. His year was pretty uneventful, and I'm certain that he feels a little disappointed that there wasn't anything he could do to save his clanmate from dying. I promise I'll get to them eventually. Real quick, we're taking a little detour to the mediators. Remember when I said that I was allowing warriors to choose to become mediators later? Well, this year we got not 1, but 2 mediators in Dragonfly Clan. I've played a couple other clans before this, but none have ever gotten a mediator by choice in the first year. And if they did, it was never more than 1. I'm going to start by explaining my quick headcanon for mediators in these territories. Mediators frequently travel between clans so often that they actually form a sort of nomadic mini-clan of just mediators. They travel together and rotate which clan they stay in based on which one has the worst problems. I figured this would solve the issue that the books had with Tree almost never being used as a mediator, because he was never where the problem was. Anyway, Thornsilk's year started on Moon 3 when she found an abandoned kit named Fleckkit. Next moon she decided to become a mediator, likely to escape from even more responsibilities. And oh my god, she gets irritated with everyone. She was constantly upset that her clanmates couldn't just talk through their problems and had to come to her to solve them. Other than that, she seemed to do a pretty good job of mediating, and I don't think she's failed at anything yet. She ended up receiving Fleckpaw as an apprentice who wanted to be a mediator, and while they had a rough start, they became a good team and made it work. I also want to mention that Thornsilk has a small crush on Bone Lion, and it is reciprocated, so we'll see if that goes anywhere. As mentioned before, Fleckkit was found by Thornsilk, and she was immediately loved by everyone in the clan. Even the usually cold Bone Lion loved spending time with her. When she became an apprentice to Thornsilk, she made everything a competition and constantly argued for mentor. They eventually sorted it out, and Thornsilk began leaning into the competitions and constantly challenging Fleckpaw right on back. She became Fleckfeather on Moon 11. And here is the sad part where we find out who died. It was unfortunately Greyweb, who died while on patrol with Bone Lion on Moon 8. A sudden flood hit them, and Bone Lion could barely get away on his own. He watched in horror as Greyweb tried and failed to escape the churning waters. For those of you who are wondering why I let Greyweb and Greymask keep matching prefixes, this is why. It's so sad to say goodbye to one of the founders so early, and they loved Greyweb so much. Why did she have to die? There wasn't a whole lot to say about Bone Lion, but he was pretty much disliked the whole year for one reason or another. And on the same moon that Greyweb died, he called one star the wrong name. He's probably still getting used to calling her that. As for Greyweb, she had to win before she died, as she chased off a small dog with Crouch insert last name. What was funny was that Greyweb had a like and dislike for Bone Lion, which was almost the exact same amount for each. I think she had 2 bars in the like and 2 bars in the dislike. Flutterscratch is the new face I mentioned, who was invited by 1 star in Bone Lion. She joined at Moon 3 and immediately fell out of a tree on the time skip. She was bonding well with Crouch, insert last name, as she helped her chase out a small dog, much like Greyweb did. On the same moon, she shared prey with a rogue and then got caught in a trap, so I'm saying the rogue offered to make a fair trade for the prey and then lend her into the trap before just straight up stealing the prey. Anyway, that was Flutterscratch. And finally, you get to know what Crouchpaw's warrior name is. The game generated her name to be Crouchrump. Yep. My guess is that while she was training to hunt, she would often get into the hunter's crouch and stick her butt way up in the air. She caught a turtle on her assessment, and when she got her name, she was honored for her morals, which I found very sweet. She was busy after that, constantly chasing off small dogs of her clanmates, so it seems she was enjoying being a warrior. And on to Palepaw. Oh boy. On his assessment, he was attacked by a rogue, so take that as you may. He became Pale Nose the next moon and was honored for his justice. After healing from the rogue, Greymask had informed him that his leg was now permanently injured due to the attack. That didn't seem to faze him, as he was pretty much immediately arguing with a loner the next moon, likely instigating another attack. I think Pale Nose has a type for older ladies, as he developed crushes for both Tumblestripe and Thornsilk, with Tumblestripe actually liking him back. The rest of the year was uneventful until at the very last moon, Pale Nose confessed his feelings to Tumblestripe, and she actually became mates with him. Here's hoping these two have a happy future. It appears my notes have also neglected Droplet Nest, but others don't typically have as much happen to them as warriors do, so she was just chilling in camp most of the time. Droplet Nest was hurt by the death of Greyweb and had grown close to the young she-cat before she died. She knows her daughter is struggling and wishes 1 star would ask for help every now and then. Other than that, not much has happened to Droplet Nest this year. And that was the first year of DragonflyClan. This year is pretty interesting already, with 2 mediators and a founder death already. I'm looking forward to Pale Tumble Kits, and I hope that next year might bring new faces to the clan. Leave a comment on this video if you guys think I should start a new clan from scratch, or stick with DragonflyClan, and just find a way to work with the poor notes I took. Either way, expect Year 2 to come out on the first Saturday of March, since I already have some work done for it. I'll see you then. Until next time, bye!